Coach, what was your biggest takeaway in your experience from last year's 2 weeks around the Army Navy game that you think is going to help you for this 2 weeks?
Oh gosh. I don't know. It was a great experience. First of all, it was one of the coolest things I've ever been involved with. Um, we got 2 weeks to prepare. That's generally probably too much time for me because I start making up all kinds of stuff. But no, it's good. I mean, I think you can throw the records out the window. Um, I think it's two teams are going. It's going to be a bloodbath, and it's just the way it is. So I think I understand just the emotion behind it more. Uh, it what it means to our guys, what it means to the academy. Um, so I definitely appreciate what it is. I appreciate being a part of it. Bottom line is we just want to go give our kids the best opportunity to be successful and it's just such a big game and it's important to a lot of people. So we that is not lost on me. It's a fun big time shoot. You could argue it's the biggest game in all of college football. Okay, and it's a great thing to be associated with.
Did you ever imagine the physicality that you saw last year? I know a lot of people probably told you that, how physical would
Mhm.
it be, but once you saw it down there, I mean, did it
Yeah,
jump off the page?
yeah. I mean, and even my first game with Air Force, it's just those kids go out there and try to beat the dog out of each other. And they're the best kid, the academy kids, are the best kids in the country, right? They're just awesome and and they got so much pride about them and it means so much to them and they go out there and they try to knock each other out. And yeah, so it's extremely physical and that's a big part of it. And obviously that's going to be really important for us that we play a physical brand of football and we can exceed their level of physicality. Will be a big part of that game.
What do you like best about where your offense is now coming into this 2 weeks as you get ready for Army?
I think the Memphis game was an important game for us. I think we grew up, we were on the offensive line. Obviously, we had a right guard start for the first time, with Jay Polito. You got a young right tackle. Um, you had some of those guys. We have a young left tackle. He's played a lot now, but he's still a young guy, and they were going against a really talented. Memphis is extremely talented, extremely talented. Memphis was ready to play Thursday night. They were ready to play. And they were doing a lot of things. They were really slanting and blitzing and moving around, and the first half was tough. It was tough sledding to in the run game, especially. And in the second half, we grew up a little bit, and we trusted some things, and we tried to allow the guys just to come off the ball and play a physical brand of football, and it became more of a fullback kind of game and kids did a great job and really got better. I think that was important uh, just for their confidence to beat. I mean, because like I said, Memphis is really talented on defense, and so I like the fact that I mean the last two wins have been quality wins now, quality wins. I mean you can't say we hadn't played anybody. So um, I think that I think the trust level, I think the confidence level, um, the playmakers are being playmakers. Um, and I think we kind of know who we are. We know our identity, and when we do what we're supposed to do, we take care of the ball. We're a tough team. We're a tough team to beat.
Good luck against Army.
Thank you.
Damn, Nolan.
Which would it mean for you to be recognized amongst some of the best coordinators in the country with that Broyles nomination?
Oh man, I don't know it. It just means your team's doing a good job, right? I mean, that's all that means. Whenever coaches are recognized for anything, it means that their players are doing a great job. So we have a great staff. We got young men who are bought in and believe in what we're doing. It's certainly nice. It's better than people thinking people hating you and wanting you to get fired for sure. I mean, that's that's a whole lot better than that. But it just means that Navy football is in a good place, right? So a lot of people have done a great job, and it's been exciting. It's been exciting for me to be a part of it, to see the guys grow, to see them get to where they are. If I've had a small part of that, it sure does make me feel good to know that. So I'm proud of everybody. I'm proud of how far we've come, and I'm proud of the way the guys have handled all of it. They've handled a lot of different things. They've grown up. They've gone through a lot of adversity. They've found ways to win. And we want to finish this off the right way.
How much confidence does it give you going into Army that it seems like now these past 2 seasons, your first 2 years here, this football team is playing its best ball at the end of the year?
Well, I think that's what it should be, right? I mean, every time you go out there, you should improve. And you know, and we bounced back. Obviously we played two really good football teams there and had two losses in a row. And we bounced back from that. We didn't let that linger because the next two opponents were were really good too, and we were able to get those. So yeah, I mean, this is when you want to be at your best. November. November's when the real ones show up, and now it's even into December, to see if we can finish it off the right way.
And then just what was it like for you to get a chance to coach on Thanksgiving Day and enjoy what was quite the win for this program?
It's probably good for my waistline. I didn't get a chance to feast like I normally do, but the next day I went over to David Cole's house and they had a spread out. My family was in Georgia. They flew down to Georgia Wednesday, so everybody was there but me. They were with my parents and her parents and all the grandbabies and all the different stuff. And so they flew back Saturday morning to Annapolis, and so Friday it was me and the dog at the house and grading the film and all that. So I went over to Dave Cole's house where they had a spread out there. So I went crazy. But it was good. It was good. It's cool to be kind of the only show in town. I probably got more text about that game than any game we played all season, just because we had a lot of eyes on us. So it was a good time. It was a good day on Thanksgiving. A lot to be thankful for.
Thanks, Drew.
Wags.
Oh, so you're David Coles. I could have sworn I saw you getting on a plane with Lane Kiffin on Friday.
Oh my gosh!
I'm only kidding.
Yeah, I don't know about any of that.
I'm only kidding. Can you talk about the fact the Army-Navy game is always won in the trenches? It's whichever team can control the line of scrimmage and establish the run game usually wins this ball game. In addition, of course, to turnovers, penalties, those. But running the ball is critical. And if you can't run the ball in this game, you're not. And if you can't stop the run, you're not going to have success.
Yeah, but that's kind of our formula anyway, right? I mean, I'm sure that's Army's formula as well. I really believe the team that makes the fewest mistakes wins the game. I just think that's the deal. It'll be a physical game, and we certainly have got to be able to run the football. But I think running the football, we've got to make Army play every inch of the field too, right? So that's what you got to protect the run game by making sure you can get the ball on the perimeter and do some different things. But you certainly, yeah, it's we definitely got to be able to be consistent there and be nice to get some explosion plays there. And obviously we got to take care of the football. It's a limited possession kind of game. So we got to make the most out every time we got the ball. We got to make the most out of it.
Do you think it's critical to? I mean, I know in years past, Navy and Army have reinvented themselves a little bit for this game. I know you are going to do what you do, but do you have to bring a special package that maybe they haven't seen all season into this game?
I think every week you try to build on what you've been doing. You try to have a wrinkle. That's what we've always believed is just try to stay one step ahead. Um, so I don't think we have to reinvent ourselves because of the style of play we have. We're pretty multiple. But I do think that, our Army's really good on defense. I mean, you look at them statistically, they don't give up a lot of points. Um, they're really physical and really smart. I think the two linebackers are outstanding players. They make you beat them, right? I mean, their defense, they make you beat them, right? They don't just turn people loose and so we've got to do a good job of trying to keep them off balance and whether it's formationally or movements or whatever that is. And just, make them think just like we do any other game. We want to make people try to think one more step. And so this game's, same kind of thing. You don't want to let them find where you are all the time. You got to make them think a little bit, make them adjust, make them uncomfortable.
So along the lines of establishing the run, can you talk about I don't want to say pressure, but the offensive line? This is going to be the biggest test all season for them, and it's a young group. You're out there against Memphis with the two sophomores and a freshman on that line. Can you kind of talk about the pressure that's on them? And on that note, do you think you'll have Ben Purvis back for this very most important? I'm sorry, Hoke
Smith.
Hope Smith the second.
Yeah.
My apologies for this very important game.
Yeah, I think Hoke. We'll see. We'll see with Hoke. It's a little early to tell. But I think you make up. I mean, I think you bring up a good point. I mean, a lot of times the first time you play in this game, it's a little bit overwhelming. But like I said, I really feel like the Memphis game, I think, will pay some dividends for the Army game. I just think having to go through that Memphis game, that was tough. There was a lot happening to get that done. I think we'll grow from that. So I think that was a really good opportunity for us to go beat an outstanding team, and it was hard out there. It was hard to it was hard to find explosion plays, and we were able to grind it out and grow up a little bit, and we got better in the second half. And so I'm hoping that we continue to build on that up front because our guys up front, there's some talent there, and the more comfortable they get, the better they're going to be. And I think we took a step forward this past game.
Should be noted that one of Army's linebackers, Andon Thomas, is a finalist for the Campbell Trophy, like Blake. Wyatt Kopelman.
Yeah, those kids they do a nice job, and Coach Woody does a fantastic job. I mean, they are well coached and they play hard, they play physical, they play smart. They are definitely a challenge.
Wyatt.
Coach, this remains one of the more dominant run offenses in the American. What aspects of the run game do you see functioning at the highest level right now?
Kind of depends on who we're playing. We went in at halftime this past week, and it was like, you know what? Let's just give them a chance to come off the ball. So this past week, the second half was zone dive and belly and power, trying to formation a few different ways, and then get it on the perimeter a couple times with a rocket toss or maybe a little option, and just kind of settle everything down. So different games, different things come into play, and it just depends on what they're giving you schematically, and then you want to give the guys something they feel confident about, and that's kind of what we told them in the locker room at halftime in Memphis. Hey, we're going to give you chances to come off the ball, and they did that. So it just we do so much, from just schematically, it's too much probably. So you kind of get into the game sometimes, and you kind of hopefully find a few things, and you stick with those things, and we'll see. We'll kind of see how that goes versus Army. You want to try to take what they're giving you, and I'm sure they're going to mix things up and do some things to obviously try to cause some. They're a team that'll blitz you. They're a team that'll move around and twist on you up front and do some different things to try to mess with you. So we just kind of got to get in there and figure it out, some of it.
Having run the ball 60 times this past game, what does that kind of volume tell you about the physicality and even the condition of your offense, especially at this point in the season?
I think you could see, uh, in the third quarter, we had the ball 10 minutes, even though we fumbled on the 1 yard line, it was a 10-minute drive, right? Um, and then the defense held them 3 and out. We got it right back. And then we went down and scored. And then I'm trying to remember if they got a first down on their next possession or not. Scott, I can't remember. I know it was I mean, we got the ball back again. And then we had another, what was it, an 8-minute drive to get to 28. And at that point,
8:19.
what's that?
8:19.
Yeah. So at that point, I think there was less than 6 minutes to go in the game. So what's big about that is, their quarterback just had to sit over on the bench in the cold, and they had to just wait, and it's hard, man, offensively to get in a rhythm. And so I felt like we were able to control the game the second half. The defense, every time they went out there, they were lights out. Our defense was. And we got better as the game went. You could tell that Memphis was, they weren't. It was wearing on them a little bit. Okay, but I really thought Memphis played hard. They were ready to play. They were really ready to play, and they played hard. Now they played hard well into the fourth quarter. They didn't just roll over and lay down. But you could tell it was taking its toll on them. They were getting a little tired and in the fourth quarter. So that, it was good to see us be able to control the second half like that.
And what stands out?
Memphis got one first down on that drive before getting the ball back. At one point in the second half, the plays were 36-8.
You're gonna win a lot of games with that going on.
Yeah. Go ahead, Wyatt.
Yeah, and between the South Florida game and this game, what growth have you seen in your offense responding in critical moments as you, of course, talk about, wearing teams down and picking up some good rhythm?
Yeah, I mean, the fourth quarter of the South Florida game obviously was critical for us. Because in the South Florida game in the third quarter, I think we had the ball almost 13 minutes, but didn't have any points. But that took a little bit of a toll, and now in the fourth quarter, their defense had been out there. And South Florida's another team where I was impressed with them. Those kids played hard now. Okay, they were a fine looking bunch over there on defense, and so in the fourth quarter though, we were able to run the football. And put the game away because we had to, right? It was tough in the fourth quarter. Their offense had found their rhythm, and and then of course in this game to be able to do that in the second half and play complementary football like that, I just against those just two quality opponents now, I'm really proud of those kids. I really am, because that those are good football teams now. And it's good to go out there and be able to do that and to be able to run the football and make plays, and take care of the game at the end. I mean, that's big time. So I'm really proud of those guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
We'll make another trip around. Scott Wyckoff.
Coach, what does it mean for you as a play caller to have a quarterback like Blake back after the success he had last year in the Army-Navy game, to have him back this game, knowing what he can do in this situation?
Yeah, Blake's really good. We all know that, and he's been through this. He's got a little he handles himself well, right? And yeah, it's great. It's great knowing that he's got one of these games under his belt. And I think he's feeling good. He's got, another week to really get rid of some bumps and bruises. I just think he's in a good place right now. And, along with a lot of guys, with Alex, Alex has played a lot of football. Alex had a really good game the other day. He's had 2 good games in a row where, he's been really productive, and Eli's been in these games. Chat's been in these games. And, and I really thought our split end position really blocked well the other day. Nathan Kent and Josh Guerin, those guys, they like Josh Guerin on the belly that Alex scored on there in the third quarter. He's the one that made the block on the linebacker. I mean, you had a 185-pound kid going in there and loading a 230-pound linebacker, and doing it well. So we got some guys doing a good job. We've got guys who have played a lot and been in this game, I think, which is always a positive.
And to that end, is that I know Coach Volker talks about it on defense, the fast and loose. Do you get a sense that when you're calling plays and guys are playing fast and loose, you can do a lot more?
Yeah, it's kind of like that daggum NASCAR track, right? Just just a little bit loose. I'm a little loose back there. Uh, yeah, I think there's a fine line. I think you got to be locked in, but you can't be uptight. You got to go have a good time and play, not worry about making mistakes. And that's where we want our guys to be. I want them. I want our program is unique. We have young men who are already wired to try hard, right? To be the best they can be, to compete. We don't have to do a lot to make sure they're ready. They're going to be ready to play this game. Okay, so it's going to be, hey, just relax, take a deep breath, have fun. Okay, don't try to do too much, and then turn them loose and let them go play and have a good time. I think it's what it's all about.
And does it help too to have a whole offensive guys that know how to be coached because they're being coached every minute of their day before they get to you?
Like I said, we want football to be fun, and football's hard. Okay, don't get me wrong, it's hard, it's challenging, and you have to bring a certain level of focus and physicality every single day. Football's is unique, and but we don't have to pull teeth very often around here to get them to go. They pretty much go, so that's a good thing.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
One question for me before I go to Tim. Blake's touchdown pass to Kendall Evans, was that an ad lib, just finding a way to get the ball to somebody?
Yeah, as far as the way he threw it, yes.
Yeah.
He read it properly, and Kendall was the one that was open.
Yeah.
But when he rolled to his left, I think he couldn't get turned quite, so he just pushed it out there to him. It was an unbelievable play. I mean, he's Blake Horvath, and that's he made a heck of a play right there.
That's kind of the stuff you can't coach, right? It's just that's
Yep. You see it and find a way to get the ball there and let him play.
Tim.
Scott jumps right in, takes part of my question. But no, Drew, in lieu of having a booth cam, what was your reaction as Blake's rolling out to his left and, he can't get the arm over the shoulder,
Right.
so he's got improv and flick it.
Yeah, so I saw Kendall. I throw it to Kendall, and then when he threw it, it's like, oh gosh, just get there, because it kind of was, it floated in there. And you're just praying that it gets there before a defender gets there, and it did. Yeah, it was more of a Kendall again, give it to okay, good, touchdown, great, yeah, that's kind of how it was.
I love it. Again, as you kind of made a joke at yourself earlier about having too much time to prepare, but what have you seen from the guys just getting ready for last year's Army-Navy game that just has you excited for the way they go about their business? You got a 13-day layoff before this next one.
I mean, our guys are really awesome, and I could be wrong. And Scott, you can help me with this. It seemed like the last 2 years off of open weeks, we've got a pretty good record.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at service academies, even more than other places, having the open week just to let them get themselves physically, back together a little bit, because our guys are busy. They got so much on their plate. I think the open weeks are really critical. Obviously, neither team has an advantage, right? Because, we both got the open week. But I just think it helps us physically and mentally just to stay fresh. But obviously, as coaches, it gives us more time to tinker and try to take a look at some things, and you have more time to get ready for certain things. And so it's good. The open weeks have been good for us.
And how has your relationship with Jay Guillermo really allowed this offense to hit another level yet again this season?
My relationship with Jay?
Yes, sir.
Jay's a freaking knucklehead. Okay. So no, Jay's awesome. Jay and I are pretty close, and I trust Jay. Okay. I mean, I trust him, and he's earned that trust. And Jay brings a lot to the table schematically. I mean, he sees things. He has a good feel for what he thinks we can do and be successful doing schematically with our players versus whoever we're playing. So I have a great deal of trust there, but I have a great deal of trust in everybody on our staff. Everybody brings a lot to the table, brings value, and brings great ideas and great thoughts, and coaches the piss out of the kids. So, but Jay is Jay's special, and I got a lot of faith in Jay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Last 2 years coming off a bye week, Navy is 8-0. So you were correct.
Let's see if we can make that 9-0.
Yes, sir. Wags.
So, real quickly, dovetailing off of Tim's question about Jay, when I was talking to your father, he said that when he went up to visit Delaware, he spent most of his time with the offensive line coach, and he said because that's really where it all begins for the wing T. Does someone like you have to really, really, really be knowledgeable about offensive line play and blocking schemes? And B, when you hired Jay, how much did you have to indoctrinate him and teach him the critical importance of blocking schemes and techniques as far as it goes with the wing T?
That's a great question. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say that I know all the intricacies of the fundamentals of the offensive line. I'm more general about what we want to get accomplished, and then obviously the offensive line coach is critical in the process. So Jay, when we first got here together, because Jay had been with me about a month at Mercer, and I was so impressed with him that I mean, I wanted to bring him with me, and so really it was going through things together, looking at different things. I had him have conversations with Clay Hendricks, the head coach at Furman, who I'd worked with before that I knew he's the guy that I always go to, offensive line wise, because of his experience and the type of offense that we're running. And while I have a pretty good bit of knowledge about it, Jay's going to be the one who teaches the detail. And I let him do that. I let him do what he's comfortable with, and we talk through it. But I've been more of a skill guy and teacher for my whole career. And so I want that O-line coach to be comfortable with what he's doing and how he's doing it. If there's something I think we need to change, we're gonna look at it together. But that guy, I mean, what they're doing in that room, those five guys having to play together and even adding that tight end in there sometimes with that bunch, they got to be on the same page. They got to understand the fundamental. They got to understand the different things in their toolbox that they have to master, and then be able to apply those tools in whatever situation. And Jay has that ability to get those guys to play hard with a great intensity. He's able to coach them with a baseball bat, and they love him. Okay. I mean, he invests in them and he knows what's going on with them and he cares about those players. And it's a unique deal, man. Being on the offensive line is such a special fraternity. It's not like anything else. And I enjoy watching that. I enjoy seeing that. And there's nothing better than having five offensive linemen all on the same page, taking the right first step and being physical, putting their hat in the right place, shooting their hands and knocking people back. So that's critical to our success.
So last question for me, because I've got to do a Zoom interview with Matt Sabatos, the Navy color commentator for basketball, or radio commentator.
This is the last question because Coach has got meetings. So this is the last question.
Blake Horvath, do you think, and we have a reporter writing this for the Army-Navy game, do you think he has established himself as one of the all-time great quarterbacks at Navy, along with the likes of Ricky Dobbs, Keenan Reynolds, and Roger Staubach?
Blake is really good. Yeah, I do. Now, I don't have the history here. That's probably a better question for Ivan Jasper. He's got to see all them guys live and in color. And but certainly Blake has put together quite a resume. I'm proud of him. He has been a fantastic football player here. And there's been some greats here, but I would certainly think he would be in that conversation. But like I said, I've only been here 2 years, so I'm probably biased.
I'll say he belongs on that list. I've been here 35. He definitely belongs on that list.
There you have it.
All right. Thanks a lot, Coach. Thanks, everybody.
Y'all have a good day.